One, Google Rick Newman talks about the new normal and the future of business. But also this article, the 4 problems that can sink America. Number 1, we don't like to work. 8 hours seems to be plenty for us. 2, people don't want to sacrifice, learn a new skill or a new language. This one, even with the advent of the internet, we're uninformed that people don't take the time to understand the real issues. And then finally, we live in an I culture in this country. People feel some sense of entitlement just because we're Americans. Now, as you let this filter, it's just a big cause for concern, isn't it? Now, let's connect the mindset of America with the evolving dynamics in the workplace by focusing on 2 areas that will help us better understand what's required to embrace innovation through diversity. Number 1, the workplace today has an identity crisis. And number 2, 45% of the workforce dislikes their jobs. Now, you must be asking, does it mean that we have an identity crisis in the workplace? Well, perhaps a story about my last name will help you understand. You'd be amazed at how many bets I've won with people, just challenging them through the pronunciation test of my last name. You'd be amazed at the hotel upgrades and rental car upgrades I've won, simply because people don't take the time to want to know how to pronounce my last name. In fact, it's really funny. People will just replace my last name entirely with another one that may look similar. But what's my point? We all have a unique identity. You see, my unique identity happens to be not only my last name, but the fact that Glenn's in front of it. It's great to be the only Glenn Llopis in the world. I'm very proud of it. Great for people relevance. See, the question is whether or not we use what makes us unique in everything we do and how we do it. We all have a brand. We all have a personal brand. And most of the time, it's misrepresented, misunderstood, or undefined. You see, historically, the workplace has not encouraged us to define our personal brand, live it, and use it. In fact, I made a promise to my parents many years ago that I would trust the brand that I was dealt, and that it would represent the fabric for everything that I stand for. So much so that I had a meeting with the folks at Webster's Dictionary, and I asked to speak with a linguist. I said, what would my last name look like if it was in the dictionary? This phonetic pronunciation will follow me wherever I go for the rest of my life. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a highly diverse, multicultural world. And that represents a critical part of propelling innovation through diversity. Critical. In fact, that's why we're here today, isn't it? Is to address this issue. You see, diversity can no longer just be a tactical strategy or initiative within an organization. It can't anymore. Diversity must touch the business every day. In how products and services are created, client relationships are formed, workplace culture is defined, and the increasingly important role in the war for talent, recruitment, retention, and professional development. See, workplace innovation requires reality-based, action-oriented, and measurable professional development that's culturally tailored. Workplace innovation requires that we all understand the different brands that we each represent and how they impact performance. We must all acculturate and assimilate to embrace our unique differences and maximize our unique strengths. Given today's fierce competitive landscape, many Fortune 500 companies today are revisiting the professional development protocols to more successfully acculturate and assimilate their diverse organizations, but also to better serve the increasingly diverse marketplace. Now, as you know, I'm involved in this area firsthand. And at the center, we believe that in order for diversity to help propel corporate innovation initiatives, diversity must move beyond inclusion quotas, beyond affinity groups and employee resource groups, and inclusion. It's about making sure that we allow it to serve as a form of propelling innovation and initiative, that diversity must help create new enlightened form of leadership that maximizes the input and output, creativity and collaboration of people throughout the entire organization, regardless of hierarchy or rank. So what is the opportunity for your organization and your workplace? Well, provide the environment for your employees to secure maximum identity and relevancy. Allow your people to help define the mission and vision of the organization. People want to feel needed, wanted, and respected. They want their personal brand to be defined and identified with things that are meaningful and purposeful. Allow for their freedom of expression. Now, when I was an executive at Norway Seafoods Company, I was involved in spearheading a merger and integration between two distinctly different operating units between Seattle and New Bedford, Massachusetts. Now, when I made that move from Seattle to New Bedford, I asked for a schematic of the organization. I asked for everybody's name, their spouse's name, their children, pets. I took 3 weeks, and I went cubicle by cubicle, office by office, asking them to provide some perspective on the merger and integration that would affect them all, employees that had been loyal for 20 plus years. Much to the resistance from my own executive management team, it was a wildly successful approach. The merger and integration went off without a hitch. Why? Because people had an identity. They had a voice. They were asked to provide their perspective. In fact, it was such a successful program, many of these employees ended up taking me out to dinner within the 3-week period, and I ended up gaining 10 pounds, no joke. It was crazy. But it was so empowering to see what happens to people when you give them an identity that matters. You see, success in the workplace will no longer only be measured by pure profit, but by your ability to contribute to workplace innovation. You see, that represents the new normal. Have you heard that term, new normal? The new normal are those trends and strategies and decisions that are being made that will remain constant or normal based upon the evolving landscape of business and society. Here's an example. Higher gas prices, right? They're not going away. Take a look at this slide. Here are just some of the new normal trends in the workplace. Now ask yourself, where does your brand fit? How are you contributing to workplace innovation? Do you need to learn a new skill or a new language? Do you need to pay attention and educate yourself about the real issues? Remember the 6 natural characteristics that define Hispanic leadership? They provide a very compelling competitive advantage to grow and prosper in the new normal workplace. And you'll learn why during the plenary and breakout sessions today. But beyond an identity and beyond purposeful, people want to be involved in creating impact. They want to be in roles of significance. People want to make a difference beyond their job titles and job descriptions. People want to be affiliated, involved with an organization that seeks to give back to their communities and society, that their personal brands have been given the opportunity to make the world a better place.